Hey, what's going on guys? My name is Rampage and welcome to my first impressions for Batman Arkham Knight for PC. Alright, let's get into the options menu here. Okay, so I just had to restart the game because I noticed that my settings were set to low because I was trying to benchmark it before, but I'll get into that in a moment. Anyway, options, game options. We've got a lot of invert options, okay? Predator awareness, camera assist, hints, vibration, and brightness. Okay, audio options. Sound effects volume, music volume, dialogue volume, speakers. You can have several speakers. I'm not really too sure what pro headphones are, but right. Subtitles on or off. Graphics options. We've got display mode full screen, windowed no border or windowed with a border. Resolution, VSync on or off. Anti-aliasing on or off, which is really quite weird. I'll get into that in a second. Texture resolution, again, another weird option. It only goes to low or normal, which is weird. Shadow resolution or shadow quality. High, normal, low. Level of detail, high, normal, low. So as for anti-aliasing, most other or the previous Batman Arkham games have had multiple anti-aliasing options, so it's a bit strange that this version of the game, sorry, the PC version of Arkham Knight only has on or off, so whatever. NVIDIA GameWorks settings, interactive smoke, interactive paper debris, enhanced rain, enhanced light shafts. Okay. Gamepad. Okay, can I change the sensitivity at all? No, not in there. What about keyboard controls? Nope. So apparently you can't actually change your sensitivity. Why? In what game ever have you played that has never allowed you to adjust the either controller sensitivity or even keyboard sensitivity? It does... What? It's really weird. But anyway, let's start the game. Now I'm going to try and skip over all of the sort of cutscene-y bits as much as possible because there are a few that I can't skip, like this section here. For some reason I actually have to interact with it. Now, anyway, you'll probably wonder why my frame rate is actually unlocked at 60 or before it was at like 130. Well, I have the frame rate unlocked via the config file at 120 frames per second, but for some reason in the menu it's like, oh, 140 or 136 frames per second, which is a bit weird, but yeah. So yeah, the frame rate's unlocked. For some reason when I try to disable motion blur, the game just decides to crash.
Is how it happened. This is how the Batman died.
Cheers for ruining the fucking story for me in the first 5 seconds. You prick. Sus this motion blur though.
Thanks.
This is by far the worst motion blur I've ever seen in any game ever. And sus the frame rate. Like 38 frames per second on a GTX 980 and an i5-2500K.
Sure.
What?
Chicken salad with no dressing.
Like, sus that motion blur. I've never seen anything like it.
With a side of bacon. Don't tell my wife.
Whatever you say, officer. Oh, and if you want some more coffee, just shout.
Yeah, okay. And on top of that, there's also
Next service,
like mouse acceleration, and it works with controller as well. Like it feels like there's some sort of acceleration going on while I'm moving the controller as well, which is not a good thing.
Wait here. I'll have a word.
Wait, hold on a second. Sorry about that. I realized that my recording is syncing with the actual frame rate that I'm getting, so I'm trying to record in 60 frames per second and it's not actually outputting in 60 frames per second because obviously it can't go more than what the actual game provides. But anyway, okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Oh, scary. But yeah, you. Hold on. I'll tell you in a second. I have no idea what's going on here. Like, is it Scarecrow or something? I don't know. I'm not really like either a DC or Marvel sort of bloke, so I don't really know anything. But sus that. Like, how many bullets did I just shoot off? I really want to count them as well. Because I swear that that's more than like the typical policeman weapon amount, I assume. Please get off me. Yep. Pointless several seconds. Can I skip? Thank you. Okay, so I can't skip this section, but yeah, I apologize.
Are the sort that enjoy the chaos.
Gotham's finest.
As you can see, 35 frames per second. Woo! So legit.
Not enough.
This is with an unlocked frame rate too. I'm actually surprised it's actually around 30. Like 30 frames per second on YouTube might not be that bad, but once it hopefully it starts to go back up to like 50 or something. Come on.
It took just 24 hours.
You know you want to, game. No. Okay, so it's not going to go above like 36 frames per second while recording with DX Story. Oh, there we go. 43. 44. My highest frame rate I've ever seen is 55. That was with recording with MSI Afterburner, but for some reason MSI Afterburner is being a total bitch, so I have to fix it again. But anyway, I just want to get to the actual game. Alright. So now, suss the frame rate. 35 frames per second, 36, 33 frames per second with about 74% CPU utilization, which is actually really strange, because before, when I was trying to record this with MSI Afterburner, I was getting anywhere from like 99%. So apparently it's not really that bad now. But why is my frame rate so shit? You know, my GPU is using 54%, and apparently after you run this game like 3 or 4 times, the game actually decides to use my dedicated graphics card for Physx, which is a GTX 770, because as you can see there, it's like 3%, 6% or whatever, and it's using 235 megabytes, but I think at least 200 megabytes of that is because I'm running a second screen and it's doing all other shit as well. So that 200 megabytes isn't necessarily all based on physics, but yeah, why is both CPU and GPU utilization horrible? Now let me just go through the percentages for the graphics card. So the first percentage that you see there for both graphics, GPU 1 and GPU 2, is the power output, or the power draw. The second sort of slot is the temperature, obviously, and the next percentage is the GPU utilization. So 53% on my GTX 980, and 3% on my GTX 770. And I'm getting 32 frames per second. Let's start to fly around a bit to suss that motion blur out, shall we? Spin around in a circle. Yep, 20 frames per second. Lovely. Lovely. Great port. Yep, totally. Like, look at the distance there. It looks really terrible. Sorry, I can't actually pull up. So we'll just go whoop. No, doesn't want to do it. Okay. So 25 frames per second. Now I'm going to show you a few weird things about this game that I've noticed over like playing it twice for 10 minutes. Hold on, I'm trying to find the actual place. I think it's over here somewhere. Is it over there? I don't know. Anywhere where there's thugs, essentially.
Dense planet something big. Why else would he team up with Penguin?
Hold on. Yeah. Anywhere where they're throwing stuff, right? They just pick it up out of nowhere. Now, I wouldn't have any sort of issues with any of those animations if there was like a mound of stuff next to them. I wouldn't even give a shit. But the fact that there's absolutely nothing and they're getting like random objects out of thin air just annoys me more than the frame rate, actually. Yeah. This game is a horrible port, and I don't believe that Rocksteady was even remotely overseeing the project. At least on the PC side, you know? Because this PC version was outsourced to, I think, hold on. I think it was Iron Galaxy Studios or something. Right? These guys have ported over Batman Arkham Origins, you know? That game as well ran really badly. As wow, okay, so that car just went through that NPC. Lovely! Yeah, testing 101. So yeah, I'm not even trying to benchmark this game, or even like assume that I'm a QA tester. But there is no fucking way that anyone with half a brain would consider this game a full release, or, you know, a day one release at all. You know, there is just so much wrong with it in terms of both NPC animations, the camera auto switching for no fucking reason. You know, just because one of these thugs are trying to run at me, apparently they're going to switch the camera so I face them. No, don't do that, please. You know, The Witcher 3 does the exact same bloody thing, and it is really irritating. If I'm trying to run away, I don't care if there's someone chasing me that's going to do this at me. I really couldn't care. I want to run away from them. For a reason. And like the fact that a lot of NPCs, as you can see there, are like doing the exact same animation, just sort of like nearly clipping through each other, just not really paying attention of anyone around them, essentially. And yeah, just not entirely good. Like, this camera switching, please stop it now. Like, it's worse than the motion blur that's within this game. Let me just see if I can turn that off. Oops, why would it be in there? Wait. No. Nope. Bloody hell. Graphics, there we go. Okay, so... actually, I'll piss about with graphics in a moment. I'll just see if I can disable that auto switching of the camera. Let's find a thug that will run at me, shall we? Will you run at me, sir?
This is gonna hurt, Bat.
Oh, no. So it doesn't even change at all. Is there any way that I can change this auto switch? Because it is really, really annoying. You know? Like, I don't want to have a game that does this all the time. Like, it's just going to be really annoying. So let's actually face one direction, like this, right? So, what frames am I getting? About 32 frames per second. Now, keep in mind that I am recording with DxTory, so that's obviously going to drop my frames by about 10-ish. So, on average, I do get about 44 frames per second. See, it's going up to 42, 43, there we go. But this is typically my performance for this game. Right? Like, both CPU and GPU utilization is horrible. Now, let's see what happens. So, wait, whoa, okay, so what frames were we getting? So, 34. So, okay, so 34 frames per second, looking that way. Let's turn everything off, shall we? I'm not going to turn off this NVIDIA stuff because I have to restart if I want to turn off both paper, debris, and smoke for some unknown reason. So it's not really going to do much anyway. Okay, so let's go back in. Oh, look at that. I gained 2 frames, or 3, 4, 5. About 5. 5 frames, turning the game to low. Really? You're joking, right? Even on low, I am still getting an average of about 40 frames per second. Now keep in mind that this game was originally locked at 30 frames per second, and yes, you can unlock it, but unlocking the frame rate is really not wise right now. You know, this game needs to go back to the drawing board, at least, you know, go back into the beta stage of testing, and just be fixed. Like, I would not be surprised if this game gets, you know, either a 3 to 5 gigabyte update. I would not be surprised. If it gets any higher than that, I still wouldn't be surprised, because the entire game is just broken. Now, obviously, I am sort of having a nitpicky moment here in terms of, you know, the animations for some of the NPCs, as well as the texture resolution. Obviously, the texture resolution in the distance there is going to be low, because I am on low. But this was also happening further away in the distance. Like, in previous Batman Arkham games, this wouldn't happen until, like, ages away. I don't know how far, but it was a very long distance that draw distance was. And it was running, like, it wasn't running this horribly, I can tell you that much. You know? So hopefully that Rocksteady, the developer that we all believe that they are, can go back and just basically kick these guys in the teeth and be like, fix this. We were not aware that you were terrible at porting games, so just please fix it. You know, even if Rocksteady has to just take it under their own wing and fix it themselves, I don't care. As long as this game gets fixed. Now, I didn't buy this game. I actually have a friend, Scott, on Steam, thank you mate, for allowing me to play this game via Steam Share. So, thankfully I never paid for this game. I was going to buy it, but after this, I have absolutely no reason to buy it. You know, I really wanted to play this game, but it feels like, to me, that at least, you know, in the last maybe 2 to 3 months at least, that a lot of games are becoming broken. Developers are not caring as much as they used to about the PC platform. Like, several years ago, we would get PC ports like Batman Arkham Asylum that ran perfectly and were only held back by the stupid Games for Windows Live garbage DRM. Right? So, why have developers developed this mindset of, oh, you know, if it runs on console, it'll be fine on PC? Which isn't necessarily true. And hold on, I'm getting rain effects on Batman right here. But I don't believe I had them before. Anyway. But yeah, let me know what your performance is like with Batman Arkham Knight, and whether you've had issues with unlocking the frame rate, or whether you get a better performance if you keep the frame rate locked. Let me know in the comments below, because I would really like to know if you could actually fix the game. Surprisingly, that this game actually does run on Unreal Engine 3. So it just doesn't really make much sense that this game runs like complete dog shit over the other Batman Arkham games. Now, it isn't surprising that the same developer screws up another Batman Arkham game. But what is surprising is that they made this one the last... what? Okay. The like final game within the Batman Arkham franchise horrible on PC, or perform horribly on PC. It just makes no logical sense, unless Rocksteady knew about this and wanted to sort of drive sales towards consoles. That isn't surprising at all, if that's actually the case. Now, obviously, they're not going to admit that, but, you know, with the amount of negative press going around this game right now on PC, it wouldn't surprise me if that was their, you know, if that was their motive behind making the PC version run like shit to drive more console sales, or to drive more console version sales. Would not surprise me. But anyway, my name is Rampage. Please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.